Yo, 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 what the fuck is up? Crew Love's pulling up. What's going on? How we doing, everybody? So today, you guys know what today's oh, I can't even say it. CubCast Saturdays. Today we're gonna have YoungYukon. I've met this guy. I mean, it's been this year since I've known him, and he's been hella supportive, not only for myself, but basically everyone in Crew Love. Man, it's been amazing. This guy's he's a legend to all of us. But I don't want to talk too much. But before we start, if you guys are watching this through YouTube after it's been posted, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let's go ahead and start this. Everybody, welcome in the man, the myth, the legend, YoungYukon. What's up, Yukon? How we doing today?
What's up, man? How are you doing today? Thank you for having me. I appreciate that very, very much.
Of course, man. I had to get you on there. Like I mentioned to everybody, you just been super supportive, always showing love to everyone else. But yeah, go ahead and introduce yourselves, and then we can get this started, bro.
Yeah, so I'm YoungYukon. I've been streaming for I think overall just over a year, but I really took it serious back in I believe December. So just over 7 months now. My oldest son, who also streams, he put me onto it. I would come home from work every day, and he was, play games. And after everybody went to bed, and he was like, "Dad, you should really stream." He's like, "You can make some money off of it." I always thought it was kind of a joke, and wondered why he watched people on Twitch play video games all the time. But I started getting into it. I started following people, and then slowly I started actually with Call of Duty Warzone, and then moved away from that because I just wasn't having fun playing that every night, and got into more and more single player games because that's the kind of games that I enjoy, and just spend my day. Thankfully, my day job, I work in an office. I've got a 4 monitor setup so I can do my job, watch Twitch, support other streamers that stream during the day. I get off work, I come home, do stuff with the family, and then after my wife and my youngest go to bed is when I stream. Normally about 2.5 to 3 hours a night. I try to get a couple nights during the week, then Friday and Saturday nights, and then on the weekends I try to stream, during the midday if we don't have anything going on. Excuse me. But yeah, I've been like I said, about 6 months solid now. And the main reason I started streaming, my whole family is gamers. I've been
Nice.
gaming. I think first system I ever had was a Sega. My kids have been gaming since they could, play the Xbox. My wife has been gaming since before I met her. So I basically started streaming. I said, if I can make enough money to support our gaming habits, then that makes me happy.
I love that.
So I'm not, would I love to be a full-time streamer and make, thousands of dollars and pay my mortgage and car payments and all that stuff? Absolutely. I think everybody that does it hopes that's, their goal. But for me, if I make enough each month to buy the next game that I'm going to play, or to buy a game that my kids want to play, or a new system, like, I was able to get my wife the Switch 2 for Mother's Day. She's
Nice.
hounding me for it since it came out. So to be able to do those things from streaming, that part makes me happy and is what I enjoy about it. And I don't have much of social life outside of work. I work about 55 hours a week. So when I come home, spend time with the family, by the time that's done, I've got, 2 or 3 hours to myself before I need to try to sleep. So streaming is kind of like my social hour. It's like, going out to the bar to have a beer after work and, hang out with your buddies. All of you guys show up in my stream. You're like the buddies at the bar. I get to hang out with you guys, see how your day's been, what you got going on, how the family's been, all that stuff. So
That's what's up. I love that. I love it. I think probably one of my favorite part of what you just kind of introduce yourself is like you're using this money just to spend more time and have games with your family. So I think that's dope. And the fact that you said you're able to make some money to give your wife the Switch 2. I mean, Yukon. What about me, bro? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. So you mentioned that you've been streaming for what, 6-7 months, and you also mentioned that your son was telling you about it. Have you always had kind of that itch or whatnot to stream a while back, or is it just
No,
just
not
that
really.
time?
It never actually dawned on me to do it. I have known about it for, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 years, and in my head it was always, I couldn't get around the idea of watching somebody else play a game you wanted to play,
Mhm,
or that
mhm,
you played all the time anyway. Like
mhm.
that part of it was where I was stuck, and I've started streaming, I've learned that, I actually use Twitch to check out games that I'm interested in, but not sure if I want to spend the money on. So I'll watch somebody else play it, get their opinion on it, see some of the gameplay, before I decide to pull the trigger on it. On some games, other games I make that decision on my own beforehand and then deal with the consequences.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, my son actually, I think he has been streaming longer than I have, just not consecutively or consistently enough. So he was the one that actually pushed me to do it.
That's what's up. I love that. I love that. Now, I mean, I think I follow your son. Is it Brickwall?
Yeah, brick wall
Yeah.
tool.
And
Yep.
yeah, and I haven't actually, I mean, I've seen you stream a lot more than he does. So, I
Yes.
mean, what happened with that?
So well, he is currently streaming off a Xbox One directly from the Xbox.
Ooh, damn.
Uh, So he normally streams like after school, obviously during the summertime, he's during the day sometimes. He actually just made affiliate this past spring break.
Let's
He
go.
was out of school for a week, and I told him, I was like, look, if you want to do this and make money, you've got to be consistent. You've got to
Mm,
put the hours in.
mm,
And he streamed every day for like 2 hours a day, got the viewers, got everything he needed, made affiliate, and made, I think, $50 his first month or whatever, enough to hit that threshold.
yeah.
So he's been ecstatic about it. He'll be 15 next month, so he's still learning what it takes and building that consistency,
Mm,
and building that following. And I told him, I helped him get affiliate by, all the people that were constantly checking in on me. I was like, hey, can you go check out my son? Let's help him get to affiliate.
yeah, I remember that.
um and then now it's kind of like, okay, you got that part done. Now it's on you. Build your community, build your following, just like I have by following other streamers, going into their chats, watching the streams, talking, being around everybody else is, how I built my following.
Mm.
Just, I found you guys, I think, oh man, I can't even remember, either
I think
Photoshop
I think it was
or it
photo. Yeah, I think it was photo.
somebody in the community I was already, I had followed from somebody else, and they were like, hey, you got raided or something like that. And that's how basically I have ridden the raid train since the first stream I watched to find other streamers that I enjoy watching.
Mhm.
And, finding people like yourself and like Quenka and like Romy and Slum and Nizzy and Basilbub. I mean, the list is huge of the people that have just progressively added to the people that I try to tab up and try to watch every time they go live and at least check in. You know, I will be honest, I don't always stick around,
Which
but I
is
at least try to hang out for like,
understandable. Yeah, yeah.
I know the one night I came home and didn't feel like streaming. It was like, hey, everybody I know feels like they're on, so let me just pull everybody up. And I had 10 tabs open. I have two monitors and I had 8 windows or 4 windows on each monitor. And it was like, just bouncing from one chat to the next, making sure I was trying to, stay up to date with everybody.
No, 100%. I love that, and I think you even shared that picture on in the Discord, and I was like, damn, okay. I was
Yeah.
just like, first of all, I was just like, okay, look at all these damn monitors. So like, yo, but like other, besides that, Yukon has always been supportive, and he's always been there for a lot of us. And yeah, it's been amazing, bro. So I appreciate you, joining the Discord and just vibing with us. We had to get you on.
Of course,
A lot of people are saying, like, I can't wait for this episode. So I felt the same way. I felt the same way. So, so when it comes to your games, and I know you said you started off with, you said Sega, like, was it the,
So my first official video game system when I was a kid was a Sega Genesis.
okay,
I believe I got it for Christmas. I think Sonic was probably the first game I ever played.
okay,
If I can remember. But I've owned or had a Sega, um, a Nintendo 64, Xbox, PlayStation 2, Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox One. Now I have an Xbox X. So,
Nice, 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 nice.
also we have a Switch and Switch 2 in the house. The kids play that more than anything.
So what would you say from the time you started Xbox, like 360, till this to the X right now? What would you say your favorite, whether it's off stream or not on stream, your favorite game to play?
Originally, when I first got my first 360, I was actually had just gotten laid off because of an injury,
Mm.
and I went to I want to say it was Hollywood Videos, I think.
Damn,
They had
yo.
attached to Hollywood Videos, they had a game store. It was like GameStop, but it was called something else. And they sold used systems and, trade in games and all that kind of stuff. So I bought a 360 and the original Gears of War. And that was a game that, really I locked in on for a long time. That was one of my favorite, universe of games was Gears of War, all that series. Most recently, I would say my favorite game has been the Division series.
Let's go.
I played the first one for a couple hundred hours. I think I've got close to 300 hours in the second one. And actually, before my youngest son was born and after he was born, he would actually lay on my chest while I played at night. More recently, probably since I've started streaming, I wouldn't say I have a favorite, but I played a lot of Arc Raiders, played a lot of Crimson Desert. Both of those games I really enjoy. Currently, I'm in the process of trying to beat Black Flag, so I
Mm.
make room for the next game that I'm going to play coming out next month. So I've kind of evolved a little bit, I would say, in my gaming playing style, I guess. I don't just find a game and play it until I burn out. I have found a reason to play a game all the way through, start to finish, and then looking forward to the next game that I'm going to play.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I love that. I love that. Before, so we're gonna have a topic of discussion after this, but I wanna ask chat first. Chat, do you guys remember? For those that are older, experience, hit a one if y'all remember Hollywood Video or even Blockbuster.
Oh my God.
Golly. And if you guys remember, look at my back hurts from me. Said my back hurts. Oh my god. Okay. I'm not gonna ask chat here, but I want to ask you, Yukon. What was your favorite part of going to like stuff like that, like Hollywood Video and Blockbuster, or anything like even like the side business, like the smaller business?
So when I was younger, before I started working all that stuff, my mom worked 4 days a week. She worked 4 10-hour shifts. Thursday night was always our night to when she got off work was Thursday was payday. She'd get off work, she'd come home, she'd get me and my brother. We would go to Blockbuster, rent movies, rent video games, and either get pizza or get subs for dinner. And that was like the favorite part of my week was Thursday night. So just going into Blockbuster, searching the shelves looking for something that was new or that wasn't because if I remember, Blockbuster had like two levels of video rentals.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that was brand new cost one price, and anything that had been out for a couple weeks was cheaper. So we were always on the lower end. We had to get something that had been out for a while, but we would get a couple movies, a video game, go home, watch movies, and then me and my brother would normally be up till 1 2 3 o'clock in the morning playing video games all weekend long, basically. So that was probably my favorite thing. And obviously the giant gumball giant
Yeah.
gumball machine at the counter, and the popcorn and all the movie style candy they would have right at the register that
Yeah.
mom always used to tell us we couldn't have.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably one of my favorite parts. Like happen going in there and just like picking like different kinds of games, different kind of movies. It was just like a kid at the candy store. And
Yeah.
I think my favorite part was just like, having to go home and just spending that family time together, whether it's gaming or movies. It was just like an all night thing. And yeah, that was probably my favorite part. So growing up, that was just, it meant a lot to me. So,
Yeah, it
but
was pretty much a weekly tradition in our house. Blockbuster
100%.
was Thursday night. And I think you got new movies, if I'm not mistaken. I think brand new movies, you got 3 nights for one price, and if they were older movies, you could get them for 7 days.
Mm.
So
Yep.
that's kind of what we would do is we would get normally one new movie and two older movies,
Yep.
and then a video game. So we could watch something that night. Mom would take it back the next
Mm.
day or on Saturday or something, and then we'd watch the rest of the movies throughout the weekend, and play the game all week pretty much. And that was, as a kid, that was really the only way you could afford
Yep.
to play new games or
Yep.
play other games.
Mhm.
Most of the time you got lucky. If you were lucky, you got a game for your birthday and for Christmas, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So, luckily for me, my birthday's in June and December is Christmas, so I get two games a year basically. Uh, so it was, for me it worked out, but being able to rent those games throughout the year also meant you could try other games, or try a game that you might want to have,
Yeah.
but can't afford to buy right then. So
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with actually, like, it's gonna be two topics of or whatnot. Yo, what's good? I hope everyone's enjoying today's episode. And if you're feeling the love and vibing out with my guests today, please make sure you check out their content. Links will be in the description below. And do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. And with that being said, let's get back to it. We're gonna go ahead and start with the topic of discussion. My first question is, because I did ask him yesterday, is about him being just a console player. Yukon, why console over PC?
So for me, I started when I first started my streaming journey, I was on the Xbox One because that's what I had. That was 2 Christmases ago, or last Christmas, I think. And then for my birthday, I bought myself the Xbox, or no, for Christmas, I think it was. So I started just before Christmas on the Xbox One, and then for Christmas, I bought myself the Xbox X just to upgrade what I had available to play with. And mainly I started with a webcam plugged into the Xbox, no OBS, no, filters, no, none of that stuff. Just, direct from Xbox to Twitch. And that's one of the things that I like about Xbox, is that you can stream directly from the console to Twitch. With PlayStation, you have to have some kind of capture card in order to play, or in order to stream. So that was one of the things that made it easy for me to start, was that I could stream directly from the console. And I've slowly, over the last 7-8 months, have built what I have available to stream with now, which, I went out tax time, got my taxes back, was able to go out and buy a fairly decent PC from Best Buy, and I run capture card from the console to the PC, and then, have my video, and that allows me to do everything that way. And before I had the PC, I was actually tried running everything from the capture card through a laptop. It worked, but it wasn't great. And I was constantly having connection issues and wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. When it comes to electronics or anything, I am very much the type that I want it to work the way it's supposed to, no matter what it is. And if it doesn't work, it aggravates me.
No, 100%.
If speakers are supposed to have sound, they should have sound. And if they
Yeah.
don't, there's a problem. I got to fix it. So that's basically where I forced myself to go out and buy a PC, because the laptop just couldn't do what it should do, or what I was trying to make it do. But I have stuck with a console mainly because that's what I'm comfortable with. I haven't switched over to any PC games as far as streaming them. I'm not a fan of mouse and keyboard.
Okay.
I can't get
Understandable.
my left and right hand to do the two separate things differently, and it
Yeah.
frustrates me, because I tried to play Mecha Chameleon, just could not do it. Once they give me controller, an option for a controller, I'm in there. I got it.
I can tell you this, Yukon. It took me a while, and I can go to speak for my brothers, Quank, Romy, and Drop. It took us a while to get used to the whole mouse and key. I know with Quanka, he still mainly plays with controller, but it's not easy. It's not easy at all, and having to go back to controller, you kind of have to get used to it again. So I completely understand, bro. I completely understand.
But yeah, so that's why I stream from Xbox. I'm mainly a console player. For me, obviously the amount of games that you have at your hands on a console are limited compared to a PC, because a lot of games are coming out, especially smaller games are coming out PC only, or they'll come out on PC for a year or two before they get released on any kind of console. So sometimes you got to wait for those, but for the most part, all of your big game titles are going to be on console. and that allows me the chance to play them, when they
Mm,
come out. Not so much so I can be a part of the trend, but
mhm.
just because I enjoy playing new games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'd like to be a part of playing that new game when it comes out before everybody else has, basically played the crap out of it, and then it's not fun to even play anymore.
Yeah, 100%. So my question is, since you're kind of like telling chat about the whole PC and console thing. So what can console do that PC streamers overlook, whether it's like simplicity, fewer distractions, anything like that?
Um, I think with console, because because Xbox or PlayStation or even the Switch, whatever company you choose to use,
Mm,
they have figured out how to make console gaming as easy as they possibly can for anybody. I mean, my youngest is 5, he'll be 6 in November. He picks up the Switch, he plays all kinds of Pokemon games, Mario Kart, Mario, Galaxy. Like, he can just pick it up and start playing. Doesn't take a lot of prior knowledge or time to figure out how to play console games.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, for the most part, and I'm only saying this because of my experience with console games and lack of experience on PC games. But with console games, almost all of them, even if it's the third or fourth game in a series, there's always a small tutorial that
Mm,
tells you what buttons do, or
yeah.
it gives you the option to do that. I'm sure PC games are very similar, but I think that ease of access for everybody that has a console or plays console games is what makes it easy for anybody to be able to pick it up and play.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I see that
And
Scottish. I see that Scottish was saying that not having to tweak the settings all the time, especially when you go through console, you really don't.
yeah,
I know a lot of games. Call of Duty, for example. I believe it's Marvel Rivals too. You got shaders with console. You don't got to deal with all that.
nope.
It's yeah,
You
it's kind
you
of
just turn it on and it automatically, as long as it connects to your monitor or TV that you're using, it automatically picks best resolution, best of everything.
yeah.
You can, with a lot of console games, you can go in and then adjust a lot of that stuff for your personal preference, but it will make the game itself to the best quality or the best for the system right out of the box.
Mhm. Yeah, 100%. I mean, even for those out there, a lot of people don't have that benefit of having a separate gaming PC and a separate streaming PC. So if you all you have is a just a regular PC with a console, that works perfectly fine because it actually works a lot better because you don't have to overkill your PC by streaming and gaming at the same time. So that's probably one of the best benefits to have when you're streaming through your console. Which I
Yeah,
mean,
and thankfully with that, the capture card, I know a lot of people use Elgato capture cards, which
mm,
are in the $100+ range. I use a $25 one that I got from Walmart, and it has worked flawlessly since I bought it. It literally two plugs in, one plug out, and you're done. That's it. One of the things that I have had to do or chosen to do with my setup that I have is, I have pieced it together with what I could afford.
yeah.
If would I like a $300 camera? Absolutely. It's on my wish list. Drop a bunch of subs in on my stream so I can buy a new camera.
If you don't mind me asking, what camera is that? Is it a regular
uh,
like a webcam?
yeah, so well, it's a streaming webcam. I bought it off Amazon. It was like 35 bucks.
Mm,
It is 4K or
okay.
has 4K capabilities. But it has worked perfectly, fine. It's a
Yeah.
USB webcam. It plugs in, it's got a microphone built in. Only thing that it doesn't have that I wish it did is it doesn't have the ability to zoom in.
Mm,
So whatever your distance from the camera is the picture you get. Same thing with microphone that I have.
mm,
It's I think $25 off Amazon. And that's one of the things I try to tell people that are just getting into streaming or thinking about streaming is you don't have to have thousands of dollars in equipment to be able to do it.
yep.
My son currently streams just off the Xbox with, just this headset plugged into the controller. You have the ability to do it with little to nothing.
Yeah.
And then you can slowly add on as you get the time or the money or, earn the money through Twitch or whatever the case may be.
No, 100%, and I completely agree with you on that one because when I first started, like I didn't start with a decent PC. I actually started with my console, my Xbox, and a broke ass MacBook that overheated every fucking time with the capture card. It was bad. No camera. So you got to start somewhere. You don't like you can't say you don't need to spend $1,000 to get the best stuff. You start somewhere and then you work your way up. That's how it is. So especially if you don't know what you're doing. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the second part of the topic, because I have asked Yukon this yesterday, because he's primarily a solo streamer, doesn't collab as much. But yeah, go ahead and explain yourself, kind of explain why you just solo stream.
My choice in solo streaming, I have done one collab stream before. I was not a fan of it. I also find watching, sometimes it depends on the streamer, but watching other people that collab stream for me is very hard to watch and understand what's going on, especially when you have multiple people all talking at the same time, all chatting, all talking to their chats at the same time. It gets very confusing for me. And like I said, I, tend to stream later at night, and I use it kind of as my social hour. So I enjoy that one-on-one connection. And I feel like sometimes when you do collab streams, at least from my point of view, you kind of lose that connection you have with your community or your chat. I will say there are some streamers that when they do collab streams, they're absolutely gold. I mean, they're hilarious because the energy that everybody brings to that collab is a piece of a whole pie, and it's not like one person is overshadowing everybody else.
Yeah.
And like for instance, I'll say, Quank and Romy and Slum and Izzy last night, their collab stream, absolutely gold. They playing the game they were playing worked well. The conversations they were having, and the fact that they're all kind of a part of the same community helps, because their chat was basically all the same people that would watch any of them. So it's not like, I don't feel like anybody got left out. It was like one person, any single person in their chat felt like they were a part of that whole group, and not like, oh, I'm only talking to this one person off to the side while everybody else is still having a conversation.
Yeah. No. And
And
W streamed last night for Quank, Romy, Niz, and Slum.
And for me with collab streams, it's harder for me to be able to pay attention to playing the game, keeping a conversation going with chat when people are in there, and also keeping the conversation going with the person that I'm playing with, or in that collab with.
So I know you probably mentioned, I don't know if I caught it. So with refusing collabs, is it more about like creative control, social anxiety, authenticity, or is it something else?
So I've like I said, I've only done one collab stream before. I haven't been asked to do others. I don't know if I would say yes or no. I haven't, like I said, I haven't been asked, but I don't go asking for people to do collab streams with me. I just choose not to. And most of the games that I play are single player games. If I do play a multiplayer game, like when I played Arc Raiders, I would either be streaming on my own. And if the other people were streaming that I was playing with, fine, that's, great. But that collab stream is where I felt things got jumbled up. It's not a control thing, because that doesn't bother me. But I feel like you tend to lose that connection if you're playing a co-op game like Arc Raiders, or even like Call of Duty, where you're the 3 or 2 or 4 people are on a team. If one person's streaming or multiple people are streaming and they're all having separate conversations, you kind of lose that connection in the game of, we're supposed to be playing this together.
Yeah.
Because everybody's doing their own thing and having their own conversations, not bringing it together. And that to me is what a collab should be. Again, I'm going to reference the stream last night. That was to me the epitome of what a collab stream should be. Everybody felt like they were a part of one big group and not doing their own thing.
Yeah, 100%. No, I love that. I love that you said that. Because because I've been through also. This, like you mentioned, when especially with Call of Duty or like games like that, you kind of have your own conversation, especially when you, for example, you get raided or anything like that. It kind of throws it off when you have so many people kind of be in the same conversation but not be in the same conversation. You know what I'm saying? So like shout out to a few streamers, I mean, including Romy. He does it all the time. I do it every now and then, where he kind of like, he's not intentionally muting his the people that he's gaming with because he wants to. It's because he wants to kind of like kind of separate that so that way the vibe, it doesn't kind of cut off from from what his chat wants to talk about, and then from what he wants to talk to when he's gaming. So it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with while collabing.
It's definitely a lot of focus that's needed, not only in playing the game, keeping the vibe and the conversation with the people you're playing with going, but also then not, isolating your individual chat or your community. Because I think all of us that stream are in this for the community. They should be in it for the community, not just for the dollar. I
Yeah.
think you can clearly see when you pull up somebody's stream if they're just doing it for the money or if they're actually doing it for the love of playing games or whatever they choose to do. Obviously, Twitch is not just for games; it's for anything.
Anything.
Uh,
Yep.
so, but if you're able to watch somebody and they're engaging with their community, you can really see that they're there for that reason with the hopes of making money. And it's
Mhm.
not, I need to make $1 first. That's, for me, that's what I enjoy most about the streamers that I follow regularly and I'm always checking up with. It's always community first. And, if I make money, great. If I don't, I'm still here for the people and the fun of it.
Okay, so a few more questions when it comes to solo streaming, and then we're gonna go ahead with some with some chat questions. Is solo as you as a solo streamer, do you think solo streaming is actually dying, or it's just gonna keep on going? Because the fact that more streamers are collabing more, like, do you think it's just gonna be like completely shut down?
No, I don't think so from my point of view. I think there's always going to be a reason for solo streaming, whether
Mm,
it be the person that's streaming a game to, show you all the secrets in a game or tell you everything how to play the game. Because there are streamers out there that their streams are literally like how-to videos of how to
mm,
play a game.
yep, yep.
And they use those streams to then cut up for YouTube videos for tutorials and things like that. So you have those types of, solo streamers. You have the solo streamers that are just playing the game to, they're platinum hunters or trophy hunters. So they're playing the game to get all the trophies on it, whether it's Xbox, PlayStation. I know that platinum hunting is a PlayStation term because that's what, PlayStation calls their
Yeah.
trophies. But I think there's always going to be a reason for solo streamers and single player games,
Mhm.
because to me, kind of going back to the collab stream, like if you're playing a single player game, I don't see any reason to do a collab stream with somebody else who's also playing a single player game.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that doesn't, to me, that feels like, in my opinion, I feel like you're kind of cheating the system, which, it's not really, but you're cheating the system because you're using somebody else's community to boost your views on your channel.
Mhm, mhm.
So if you can't, and for me, if you can't build that community organically, then it's not really worth it. And you're not there for the right reason.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
I play single player games because that's what I enjoy. Every now and again, I'll play, like I said, I play Division 2, which has co-op available, but I don't do it very often. I probably will get into the new Modern War 4 because of DMZ 2, the extraction shooter side of it, because I really enjoyed Arc Raiders. So I'll probably get into that and I doubt I'll do any co-op streams, but I'll co-op play while somebody else is, possibly streaming on their
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
I have tried to get back into Arc Raiders. Have burnt myself out, unfortunately, playing it. So every time I try to get back into it, I just don't find the joy. But for me, I enjoy single player story based games. Actually, on my last vacation from work, right around my birthday in June, I played Senua 1 and 2
Mhm.
and beat both of those and started Banishers, which is another, story driven single player game. So I tend to like, I found a new love for those story driven single player games. And I've also, have always enjoyed, Assassin's Creed and those open worlds, single player games.
I wanna go ahead and ask 2 more questions before we get into the chat questions. So, what would you say for what does a solo streamer offer, that a 4-person Discord call can't?
So I think with a solo streamer, you're going to get more personal connection, especially with your community or people that come into your chat, even if they're not a part of it. And I feel like when new people come into your chat as a solo streamer, you have a chance to make that connection instantly and build on it. Whereas if you're in a collab stream, or even if you're not even a collab stream, even if you're the only person streaming, but you're playing with other people and you've got all these voices talking all at the same time, that person that's watching your stream could feel very left out.
Yeah.
Even if
Oh
you're
yeah.
trying to
Oh
talk
yeah.
to, even if you're trying to talk to them and say, hi, how you doing? What's up? How's all this? You have all these other voices that aren't a part of that conversation talking. And I'll kind of relate this. So, little backstory. I was a bouncer from the time I was 18 till I was 28. I've worked in bars and nightclubs all up and down the East Coast in Maryland and Delaware. It's kind of like going to a bar and trying to hit on a girl while she's in the group of all of her friends. Like, you're trying to talk to that one
Yeah.
person, but you have all her friends talking to her at the same time. So that's kind of, to me, what, trying to have a conversation with a single person in your chat while you've got all these other voices going on.
That's a
Is what it
great
feels.
example. I love I love that. I didn't expect for it to kind of relate to that, but that's awesome.
Yeah, so, I mean, and that's, to me, that's what that feels like. But as a single player or a solo streamer, you have that ability to create that connection from the very first message they send. Now, I will say that I am not always the best when it comes to new people popping into my chat, especially because I get locked into a game and really focused. But I always try to make a point, if I see a name that I don't recognize, I say hi, how they're doing, ask how they found my stream, whether they came with a raid or by, somebody else telling them, hey, go check this person out. And I always try to get to know a little bit about everybody. Because of my individual tisms, I guess you could call it, I tend to learn people's schedules really fast. So when somebody who normally streams Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and all of a sudden 2 weeks in a row they haven't streamed on Tuesday, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Why is this not happening? Uh, and I will say that I'm not the best when it comes to living by those same rules, because my consistency during the week is hit or miss, and I will say that's mainly because if my wife and youngest son stay up later at night, then I tend not to stream, because for me, if I don't start streaming till 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night, I'm only going to get about an hour in, and then I need to turn it off so I can go get some sleep for work the next day. I try to make sure if I'm going to stream, I'm streaming for at least 2 hours minimum.
All right, so my last question before we get into chat questions, any advice for new streamers who feel like they have to collab to grow? Do you feel that?
So my biggest a piece of advice that I would give for anybody that's just starting out streaming or has been streaming for a little while and doesn't feel like they're growing any, one, you got to ask yourself the question, are you making yourself seen in other people's stream? And not in a bad way, just being in other people's streams, talking, having conversations, keeping the chat moving in other people's streams. Because if you join somebody else's stream and their chat is dead, kind of feeding that chat questions and conversation will help get you noticed. One of the things that I've seen from a lot of people that have started streaming is they're like, oh, I'm a streamer, come watch me. It's like, that shouldn't be your first announcement into somebody else's stream. Just
Hell
be there,
no.
be a supporter, be a viewer, talk. And then most streamers I have found, as they're talking to you in their chat, they will ask, hey, do you stream? How'd you find me? This is, they will ask if you stream. Don't always expect everybody to follow you from the start. You will find your group of people.
Yep.
The way I like to say it is, you'll find your people, period. And that'll be the people that show up for you no matter what time you stream, no matter what days you stream. The other big key is be consistent. If you're going to stick to a schedule, or if you have trouble sticking to a schedule, pick one day a week that you're going to set aside and say, hey, this is my day to stream. And do that for a month, just that one day a week, and spend the rest of your time, in other people's chats, building those relationships.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they'll realize, hey, he streams every Wednesday night. You know what? I'm gonna take my Wednesday night. I'm gonna go check him out, or her,
Yeah.
whoever it is. And then you can build on top of that consistency. You go from once a week to, okay, now I can do, I found more time in my life that I can do twice a week. But if you're somebody who has plenty of time on their hands and you're streaming, Monday at 6 o'clock for an hour, and then Tuesday you're not streaming until 3 o'clock in the afternoon for 5 hours, and then Wednesday you're back for an hour in the middle of the day and then an hour in the afternoon, that inconsistency makes it hard for people to follow. We as humans are very schedule based,
Mm-hmm.
and we like that schedule and that consistency in everything that we do. So knowing that, I know right now, obviously, Teddy, with the CubCast, every other Saturday you're going to be on, unless life gets in the way. You're going to find a way to make this happen every other Saturday because that's what you set the schedule at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are other streamers that stream every single day for the same 4 or 5 hour block. That's great. That's consistency. That's something that people can rely on. Now, you can't expect people to be there every stream, but at least it allows them to know that, hey, I can check in any day, Monday through Friday, and he's going to be there.
You can't spin facts, and I hope whether you're a new streamer or you've been streaming for a while and kind of like you feel like you're falling off, just kind of listen to his advice, not just from him but for everyone else. People go through the same shit, and I want to go ahead and throw in what you mentioned earlier was just like you cannot expect for people to just vibe with you right away, and it doesn't happen that way just because you're in a certain community. You cannot assume that everyone is going to come to your stream and enjoy who you are as a streamer. That's not your people's. I mean, it's sad to say it, but like you said, eventually you'll find your people's that like to vibe with you, and it's not going to be everyone else. It is what it is.
One example of that, and I'm not to point anybody out for any bad reasons, but Cuenca, if you take Cuenca's stream versus my stream, they are two completely different types of streams. Cuenca's stream is very high energy. He's, always pumped up. It's almost like you're going to a house party and he's the rock star. But I can tell that's his character. That's who he is. That's why I enjoy watching his stream, is because I feel like not only am I coming to his stream and seeing this party happening, but he also makes you feel seen as an individual. He makes sure he says hi to everybody. He makes sure he talks to you. Whereas on my side, my stream a lot of time is way more laid back. I stream late at night when the family's asleep, so I try to stay quieter, but I'm more relaxed, and I am playing video games that I enjoy for fun, and it's, I don't have that high energy. Not that I can't get animated, but I spend so much time of my day at work and life, stress and all that heaviness on me, that I use streaming and gaming as my relaxation and my time to unwind. So I tend to be a lot more laid back, a lot more casual, just having conversations. Whereas, like I said, with Cuenca, it's like going to a house party and he's the main star.
Yeah, totally different vibe. Like I said, you just gotta find, your people's your way. So awesome discussion. But we're gonna go ahead and we'll have like 5 to 6 minutes. We're gonna go ahead with chat questions. I'm gonna go ahead and start off because I asked Yukon. I was talking to Yukon before we got on. He was like, I have a answer ready for you, and I was like, I feel like I know the question, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But so Yukon, I'm gonna start it off. But my first question is, if you could pick a mythical creature to eat, what would it be and why? First off, was that the same question that you're talking about? That you were? Yes. Yeah, I knew it. Okay, go ahead.
So it's a question you ask at the end of every podcast, and I've been thinking about it since your last one with Nexus, and I've seen a lot of people stumble with this. They get asked a question and they're like, I don't know what I would pick. So I've been thinking about it, and I think I have a really good answer that probably I don't think anybody said yet, but a Minotaur.
Oh,
because the Minotaur is the closest thing to a bull, which for me is steak. So I got brisket, I got ribs, I got steaks, I got hamburger, I got everything I could want out of one mythical creature.
Yo, W answer. Yeah, I think that for all the episodes I've had, I think that's the first. That's the first. I love it. Oh yeah. So chat. Once a Minotaur comes in and Yukon hunts it, make sure we all pull up at his pad, and we're having steaks for days. All right, so Romy got a question. If you could only play 3 games for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh, currently out of the games that I have available, Division 2, because it's one of my favorites of all time. Crimson Desert, because I feel like that game currently is probably the largest open world game that has the ability to do just about anything in it. And honestly, this game is probably not as popular. Not a lot of people have probably heard of it, but if people that play Xbox have seen it in their Game Pass library, it's called Solar Punk. It's a kind of like a world building crafting survival game.
Okay, never heard of that
Um,
one.
it's a smaller game. I've only got about 20 hours in, and I've run out of stuff to do. But if the developers continue to develop that game into more, I feel like that's a game that can be played forever because of what it has available and what it has to offer. But
Cool,
it's
cool.
again, it's one of those like, hey, I'm tired tonight. I really don't feel like, getting into Assassin's Creed and playing for a solid hour. Or I don't feel like getting into Crimson and, or whatever the game may be. This is something Solar Punk is something you can just throw on, play for 15, 20 minutes, wind down, and then turn it off. So I kind
Cool.
of got, my 3 games there.
That's what's up. That's what I've never heard of that first one or that last one. But
Yeah.
so next question is from Hat Attack Gaming, aka Spidey. His question is, what's the most unexpected thing that has happened while streaming?
For me, the first time I got raided with like 70 some people, literally like within 3 minutes of the raid, hype train, like gifted subs, like it just the chat went crazy and like I lost it. I'll be honest. I broke down. I started crying. I was like, man, I don't know why me. Like for me, that is, for somebody who is doing this for fun and, like I said, to support my family's gaming habit, to be shown that much love from so many random people, because
Hmm.
it wasn't just like my community that were supporting from that raid. It was all the people that came with that raid that just started throwing bits and subs left and right and gifted subs. And I was blown away.
Yeah.
So that definitely was probably the biggest surprise that I've had in streaming so far.
Awesome, awesome. We got a few more questions. So with Pixel,
Oh,
he's asking, what was the first game you played that made you fall in love with gaming?
for those of us that are old enough to remember, on the Sega Genesis, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the
Oh,
side-scrolling Ninja Turtle game.
oh, I remember
So,
that one. I know Romy remembers that one. So
yeah.
hell yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
So that was one of those games. Like I mean, before that, I had played. Buddies in my neighborhood had Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all of that. They had everything. But that was probably my first game that I had that was mine that I absolutely just fell in love with. And I mean, I had always been hooked even before that, but that was like the first game that I fell in love with.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Chat. So you guys usually know, most people that's in the chat right now usually know that this is gonna be usually takes about an hour. These questions are popping up like crazy. Everyone's having a good fucking time.
Let's keep
if
going,
if
please.
Yukon is cool with it, if chat's cool with it, let's just keep these questions going. I'm having a great fucking time right now. So Paul, I know I met
I'm
Paul
here.
through you, Yukon. I think it was
Yeah.
like a couple streams ago, and he was super excited about this the podcast. But his question is, what about streaming has surprised you the most? Like, what did you not expect?
For me, the one thing that I didn't expect when I first started, obviously, my idea of what Twitch and streaming was just watching other people play video games. So the biggest surprise for me is obviously the personal connection that you can build with some people, the true unadulterated love that you get from other streamers or other people, even that aren't streamers. Case in point, Sarah and her fake raid to a couple weeks ago. Like she had 50 or 60 people
Yeah.
in an offline chat just to fake raid somebody that showed up because she took the time out of her day to message people and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Can you, will you be there? And I guarantee you 99% of the people that she messaged said yes and showed up. So that kind of support and community and love for just a single person because they asked it, is the thing that surprised me the most, that this is more than just watching somebody play video games.
Yes, yes, and I love that. I mean, I was in for that because I was streaming, but like once I believe it was Liz or someone else told me like, yo, she had like 40 people actually wanted to do that to do with a fake raid. I thought that was amazing. Yo,
Yeah.
mad love to Sarah. I mean, she's not a streamer, but she, eventually she is. I know that for sure. She wants to be a streamer, but the fact that she's not a streamer, she was able to pull that off. Yo, mad love to her. The WW Sarah for doing that. And I'm pretty sure Quenko was just like, yo, what the fuck? He's like, what is going on? So shout out to her. I think that was dope. That was dope.
Yeah, definitely was.
Yeah, for sure. So Supreme got a question. Not sure what he meant
Premium
by
stuff
this.
as well.
So he's asking any advice for me. Serious question. So
Any advice to you? Premium, to be honest with you, man, and from all of the streams that I've watched yours, there is nothing that I could tell you that you could do better. Your community that shows up for you, the way you communicate with everybody, the time that you have, the level of enjoyment that you show in the stream, you cannot replicate that. That cannot be replaced. So you just keep doing what you're doing, brother. And I will say that, and this isn't geared towards Preem, but this is for any streamer, including myself. I have found, for me personally, the time to make clips, post edits, and get all of that stuff onto YouTube or Instagram or TikTok and all that stuff is very hard,
Mhm.
especially for me. And I would say that is the biggest thing that is holding any streamer back from really, really growing their numbers is the reach outside of Twitch or
Mhm.
outside of whatever streaming platform they use. Because I know that those things will help you grow from people that are not already on Twitch and constantly watching people.
Mhm.
So if you can find the time, whether it's a day a week and a couple of hours a week, if you can find the time to take your streams, make edits, make clips, post them, however you do it, whether it's through an automated system like Eclipse, or if it's, something you just create to automatically pull clips, whatever you can do to post those clips to any and all socials that you have available, that will help you bring more people from outside of Twitch to your stream. It may not mean more money, but it's definitely going to mean more views, which hopefully you'll find somebody that, becomes those actual community member and supporter that says, hey, you know what? I really enjoy this guy. His videos are awesome. His streams are awesome. I want to hang out all the time.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And it's true. It's true. It's not easy. But it does help you grow. It's not gonna help you like, get that, mad views or whatever money you're trying to look for right away. 'Cause it takes time. As long as you're being
Yeah.
consistent, it is, let's just hope for the best. But Cuenca has one. Yukon, how long did it take you to find a good time management system between handling personal responsibilities and streaming? I feel like I'm still trying to fine tune mine, especially with the toddler.
For me, like I said, I've got three kids. I've got two 15-year-olds, and my youngest is 5. He'll almost be 6. I work on average 55 hours a week, Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sundays are my days off. So, I've said before, I normally throughout the week wait until the wife and my youngest go to bed, because my oldest kids, they're gonna go to bed when they're ready to go to bed. I'm not fighting them anymore. I'm not worried about that. But when the wife and the youngest go to bed, because they tend to go to bed earlier, that's normally when I stream. And that's why I said I don't have time management when it comes to doing clips and edits and all that stuff, because my 24 hours of my day is pretty much filled. I
Mhm.
get up at 5 o'clock every morning. I'm at work by 6. I work till 5 p.m. I come home. We do dinner. Spend time with the kids and family, shower, all that stuff. Normally by about 7 o'clock, we're starting to wind down. I kind of just relax and be present with the family. And then the wife and the youngest, normally somewhere between 8 and 9 o'clock, go to bed. And then that's when I stream for a couple hours. By the time I get off stream and then, make my rounds with everybody, it's, between 11 and 12 o'clock. Then I go to bed and read for a little bit and then fall asleep. So I'm only getting, roughly 5 hours of sleep every night. So by no means do I have time management down, but
Yeah, yeah.
I have pretty much lived this time schedule lifestyle since I was 18, because it was either one or two full-time jobs. When I was younger, it was partying after work. It was, trying to be supportive for my family, my mom, my younger brother, things like that. So this has kind of always been my time schedule. But I have found, I get those 2 or 3 hours a night that is just my time, and I sacrifice my personal sleep to be able to stream.
Yukon, do you ever have gamer dad's guilt?
I don't think so. I've never felt a moment where I've neglected family or family time because of gaming or streaming. If I'm not streaming, I obviously, if something comes up, I'll stop the game, do what I got to do.
Mhm.
Currently, while we're doing this, I've got laundry going. We've already cleaned the house this morning, so we're good there. But I try to find as much time when I'm not gaming to make sure I spend with the family, even if that's our family as a whole isn't big on like we all got to be doing the same thing. Sometimes for us, it's just being in the same room doing our own thing. So a lot of that happens. I'll be watching TV. One kid will be on his phone. The wife will be watching, something else on her phone. It's sometimes it's for us. It's just being in the same room is where we find our connection. But I've never found a moment where I felt guilty because I've never chosen streaming or gaming over my wife or my kids.
100%. I love that. So last question from chat is, Yukon, are you a master chef?
No, I am not technically a master chef. Through high school, that was my career goal. Is I always wanted to be a personal chef or a Michelin star chef. Is something that I always wanted to be. Life got in the way of that, and I lost the love for it in high school because the culinary class that I took for 8 weeks, all we made was biscuits. And not the good kind, like the hard like dinner rolls that you get at the cheap hotel lobby restaurant. It was horrible and I hated it. So I got away from that. But I have been cooking pretty much since I was about 8 years old. My mom had me in the kitchen, standing on a chair on the stove, making dinner. I cook 80% of the time. I'm the one that cooks dinner. My wife may start it, but I'm normally the one that finishes it. We've kind of figured out something that works for us. She makes the dinner list for the week. I do the grocery shopping, and I predominantly do most of the cooking. I don't care what I make. Just tell me what it is and I'll make it.
That's what's up.
So I make her make the list and I make it. But I know some of you guys have seen some of the pictures I posted in Discord. I am very proud of a lot of things that I make. Most of the time it's because I have no idea what I'm making other than, hey, I'm doing, like the other night we did chicken teriyaki. It's like, hey, we're doing chicken teriyaki. And then I just start going to town and there's the outcome.
Yeah. And I think I beg to differ. Even this was saying your picks say otherwise. So yeah, I think we got Master Chef Yukon in here. So well, chat, that is about it for today. Before we end, any closing statements or anything you would like to say to, not myself, not to the CubCast, but for everyone else in chat? Any closing statements?
Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate all you guys for being here, coming to show, obviously Teddy's CubCast love, blowing the chat up. I've been trying to watch all of you guys. Thank you very much. I've tried to read as we're talking and I get lost. I thank you for all the great questions. Teddy, again, I'm honored to be here. I'm honored you asked me to be a part of this. I was not expected at all, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
Also, one other thing, we didn't really touch on it, but for anybody that is thinking about getting into streaming or has just started,
Yes.
if you need help with anything, whether it's OBS, whether it's what your settings should be, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I have no problem helping anybody with anything they may have. Just recently, I don't know if you guys saw it last night or the night before on my stream, I spent 3 nights and long hours coding a new overlay for shoutouts. So I am always trying to better myself. And if anybody is looking to do the same, I will help in any way that I possibly can. So feel free to reach out to me through Discord. And like I said, I'll help in any way that I can, whether it's, settings, what programs to use or not to use, what my choices are. I'll do what I can to help.
Oh yeah, I love it. YoungYukon, CubCast, WChat. Thank you guys for pulling up. Y'all pulled up. Thank you guys. Much love. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.
Love y'all. Have a good night.